Tips, a story of cyber resilience. Introduction. A wake-up call in the cloud. Jason Carter, a senior IT security analyst, sat in his dimly lit office, sipping his third cup of coffee. It was late, but he couldn't sleep. The company he worked for, Technova Solutions, had just suffered a significant security breach. Sensitive customer data had been exposed, and Jason knew this incident could have been prevented with better cloud security measures. Determined to prevent another catastrophe, he decided to document the top 5 cloud security tips every business should follow. As he researched and compiled best practices, he realized that cloud security wasn't just about technology. It was about vigilance, proactive measures, and smart decision-making. Tip 1. Enable multi-factor authentication, MFA. The breach at Technova started with a compromised password. An employee had reused a weak password across multiple platforms, and hackers had gained access to the cloud system using stolen credentials. Jason knew that multi-factor authentication, MFA, could have stopped this attack by requiring a second verification step, such as a one-time passcode, biometric authentication security keys. MFA makes it much harder for cybercriminals to access cloud accounts. Even if someone steals a password, they won't be able to log in without the second authentication factor. Jason muttered to himself as he enabled mandatory MFA across all company accounts. Tip 2. Implement strong access control policies. As Jason continued investigating the breach, he realized that too many employees had unnecessary access to sensitive cloud data. A marketing intern had the same access level as a senior developer. Something that should never happen. To fix this, Jason implemented the principle of least privilege, POLP, ensuring employees could only access the data and tools necessary for their job roles. He also introduced role-based access control, RBAC, to assign specific permissions based on job functions. If a hacker compromises an account with minimal access, the damage they can do is limited, Jason thought as he finalized the new security policies. Tip 3. Encrypt data both in transit and at rest. Technova's customers trusted them with personal and financial data, but during the breach, some of this information had been accessed in unencrypted form. Jason immediately enforced end-to-end encryption, ensuring that sensitive data would be encrypted both in transit while being sent and at rest while stored in the cloud. He chose a cloud provider that supported AES 256 encryption and implemented SSL TLS encryption for all data transmissions. This meant that even if hackers intercepted data, they wouldn't be able to read it. Encryption makes stolen data useless to cybercriminals, Jason reassured himself as he tested the new encryption policies. Tip 4. Regularly monitor and audit cloud activity. Looking back at the breach, Jason realized that suspicious activity had gone unnoticed for weeks. If they had caught the unusual login attempts earlier, they could have prevented the attack. To stay ahead of threats, he set up automated security monitoring tools that would detect unusual login patterns, e.g., access from unknown locations, identify suspicious file transfers, send real-time alerts for potential threats. Jason also scheduled monthly security audits, ensuring they regularly reviewed logs, permissions, and configurations for vulnerabilities. A good security strategy isn't just about defense, it's about constant vigilance, Jason reminded his team as he demonstrated the new monitoring tools. Tip 5. Keep cloud systems and software updated. The final lesson Jason learned was that outdated software often had unpatched vulnerabilities that hackers could exploit. Many businesses failed to update their cloud applications, plugins, and security patches, leaving them exposed to known cyber threats. From now on, Jason made it mandatory for Technova to enable automatic updates for all cloud software, apply security patches as soon as they were released, regularly update firewalls, anti-malware, and endpoint security tools. Staying updated is one of the easiest ways to prevent cyber attacks, Jason told his team as he outlined the new update policy. Conclusion: a more secure future. With these top 5 cloud security tips in place, Technova Solutions became a fortress against cyber threats. Jason had transformed a vulnerable system into a resilient one, ensuring that customer data was protected. As he finally closed his laptop and took a deep breath, he realized something important. Cloud security isn't a one-time task, it's a continuous process. By following MFA, access control, encryption, monitoring, and regular updates, businesses can significantly reduce security risks and build trust with their customers. Are you protecting your cloud data the right way? Now is the time to take action before a breach forces you to.